It was very intentional.
Yes.
And we're telling you ways to be intentional.
Exactly.
Like someone asked for the blueprint, it starts with intention.
Yeah.
Take the blueprint
Yes.
and say, okay, which of these can I commit to? Is it making bi-weekly payments? Is it paying an extra payment a year in some other way? By like you get a bonus, you get your tax return, you make one extra payment. Is it rounding your mortgage up a little bit, every month so you can make an extra payment? Is it taking that 30-year mortgage and refinancing to a 15-year mortgage?
Welcome. This is For Better and Worth,
the podcast where we don't believe you have to sacrifice your relationship while you grow and build your net worth.
We are your hosts.
I'm Chris.
And I'm Erica Young, and we're so glad you're joining us today.
All right, y'all, let's get into it.
The For Better and Worth podcast is sponsored by American Heritage Credit Union, a not-for-profit credit union that helps you take control of your financial future.
As a member of American Heritage, you're an owner. You'll be charged fewer fees, earn more in the form of dividends on your accounts, and have access to lower rates on loans.
Whether your goal is to save for a down payment on a home, create an emergency fund, or build for the retirement you've always dreamed of, American Heritage has the products, resources, and solutions you need.
After all, American Heritage is for the people, not for profit. So to learn more, go to ahcu.co/for better and worth.
Hey, honey, how are you?
Doing good. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I am doing good. So
It's so funny. Like I'm just being silly, maybe, but I always had old school songs
you got an old school song
in
in your
my
head?
head, and I probably have said this before, but it's like tag team,
Back again.
Check this and wreck this and let's begin. Because we're a tag team.
We are.
And we are back at it.
Yes, and still excited on our high from crushing our mortgage and being done with that. So somebody in the comments of one of our videos said, show us the blueprint.
And we're all about sharing. Well, they say sharing is caring.
Yeah.
And so we want to see people win with money. And so we're happy to share. But I think there's two things that we have to share. One, it doesn't matter where you're at. You can do it too. From where you're at today, moving forward, we're going to talk about ways and options and solutions that you can employ that you could be there as well. No matter where you're at with your mortgage today.
Yep, absolutely.
But I also have to say that we started with the intent of paying the mortgage off early.
Yeah.
And so if you're listening and you're at the beginning of your process, we're going to speak to that. Then we're going to talk about whatever you need to do, wherever you're at, you can do it. So
yeah. So, and I also think that we as a society, typically we're so focused on getting a home. So like having a residence and it being everything we wanted it to be. We have our checklist of, I want this many bathrooms, this many bedrooms, we need this, that, and the other.
This neighborhood.
Yes, like we have all of these things and we do not on the list typically have that we want to pay it off early. We just say, what can I afford given all of the things that I want?
Right.
And we can get caught up in that cycle. And then also, the more money we make, the more house we believe we can have.
The more house we tend to want.
Yes. And we also had that temptation.
Yes. We went down that road.
We did. We did go down that road once and got a bigger house, a bigger, better house at one point.
A bigger payment that was a bigger stress.
It was. And that home was on a 30-year mortgage. And so we're always thinking so much about what we want and not the practicality of, do we actually want a 30-year more? Like, we want to pay this for 30 years?
You know what? This is a point of vulnerability, point of transparency is that we bought a house, built a house, and we had a 30-year mortgage, then we refinanced and got a 15-year. But then we, got caught up in the hoopla and the smoke. We lived in Arizona, and it was like the housing boom. Like everybody was like building houses, and it's like it was normal. People would stay someplace 5 or 6 years, then boom, build another big old house and move.
Yep.
And we got caught up.
We were trying to keep up with the Joneses.
And we went and we saw this bigger, more beautiful house, and we were like, oh man, we gotta get this house. And we went from a 15-year mortgage to a 30-year mortgage on a bigger number. So we just increased everything. We increased the time.
Yes.
We increased the payment. And we were like, we got in that house and I liked it, but I was like, man, what did we do?
2 years later, the housing market went into a tumble.
It was like the ground opened up and swallowed up all of my equity.
I have a very vivid image of being in the model home of the house that we purchased. And we were in the upstairs bedroom. The bedroom was big enough to have like a sitting area. And my mother was in that house. She was visiting the house with us.
Yeah.
And I remember her saying, wow, like this is a big number. Like she, because they hand out the sheets to let you know how much everything is and all the things. And I remember her
checking them numbers,
having an aha moment, like this is a big deal. And it is significant to me because my mother is very, she don't really get into your business, that. But she had an aha moment and we bypassed it. Like there was no, like us sitting down saying, maybe there's wisdom in her pausing, right?
There was no checks in my spirit. I'm moving.
Or we completely ignored the checks. Let's be very honest, because
we were house crazed at that point. Like I say, people go out and they say, I'm gonna go look for a car. No, you coming back with a car. 9 times out of 10, people go, I'm going to look for a car.
Yeah.
Then you see them drive. Oh, I thought you were going. Oh, well, I saw this and I just, you got caught up.
So no matter if you were in our situation and purchased a home that was potentially a stretch for you in that moment, or if you're already in a home, you never really considered paying it off earlier than the term, you start where you are. Where you are, because there are lots of reasons, and I think it's important for us to really go back to discussing why paying off the home would be important.
Yeah.
And not just that we did it, but like,
I mean,
what is your first reason for wanting to pay the house off?
Well, I say, like, my reason is like, I just like to be free. I like to have flexibility. I want to be charitable, and I don't want mortgage to prevent that. And that's why I think it's important to say we started from the beginning. When we first bought the house that we live in now, we said, you know what? To me, it was important to have a paid-for home. Because we had got out of debt, and this was the only thing that we had remaining. And so we made a few decisions on the beginning part. Like when we were looking for a house, we set a limit on how much we would spend. And sometimes people will set a limit, but that limit has like some built-in escalation when you find what you really like. They're like, well, maybe we can go 20, 30, 40,000 more. We were like, nope, we're not spending over this amount. And we stuck to that number. And then we said, we are not getting another 30-year mortgage. We're only going to get a 15-year mortgage. And so I feel like in your life, you have to have some no matter what's. And in that situation, we had some no matter what's because it had become so important to just have a pay for home at some point that we had to set the stage at the beginning so that we could get there. And so I like that we did that because as I think about why it was important to me, it's just like we're still relatively young. And I just like to have the freedom and flexibility to move. And I like living a low, stress-free life.
Yeah, because your mortgage payment per month is typically the largest one that you will have, be it rent or mortgage, whatever it is, right?
Yes.
And the truth is that we're having a whole lot more conversations about when you and or I want to retire, like, and not have to bring in income. We're having these conversations
that number
now.
seems like, in my mind, it's getting
Closer.
sooner and sooner because
Yes.
it's like, well, hold on, I'm 67.
Right.
Who wants to do that?
Yeah. Yeah.
65? 62? I was like, I don't know.
Well, no. For years, you had said age 59 and a half.
Right.
And that's closer than we like to admit.
Whoa, Playboy.
I'm just saying.
It's not that close.
It's closer. It's the closest
that
you've
close.
been. Okay.
You know
So
what I'm saying?
anyway,
If it's close for me, it's close for you.
we in the same decade. We're in the same decade to where you can take advantage of 59 and a half.
This,
I said we.
see this?
I brought me in.
Y'all saw that.
I
You all
said me.
saw it.
Anyway.
Right here.
But I think about retirement in that there is absolutely no way that I want to have a mortgage in retirement.
No
and
way.
so while I don't think that we are going to retire in this house, I do not believe that, but I wanted one to have a paid for home going into retirement, and I want to do other things prior to that. And
Yes.
freeing up cash on a monthly basis helps get us closer to those other goals that have nothing to do with our primary residence,
Right.
but they have everything to do with the life that we want to build now and into retirement. And so some of these other goals that we have require us to free up some cash, right? And so that's the part that for me made it worth it. And I think everybody has to think about why they're doing it. You don't do it because Chris and Erica said, do it because there's something really important that
What's
matters
your
to
why?
you. Yeah.
What's your why? And I think it's important for us to set context on how we were able to do it. We were very intentional from the beginning. And I don't know, I feel like we were young, but we've always been like serious people.
Well, okay.
You know what I'm saying? I feel like we've always been like just serious, kind of focused. Like,
About money,
Yes.
yes. We have always been very
yeah, we
serious
take
and
a lot
focused.
of stuff very lighthearted
Yes.
in life.
But I think what it is, and I actually wrote this in something like in a newsletter that I was going to do for work, for business, that we know that the number one reason people get divorced is money fights. And I think you and I besides our relationship with God, this is the very next thing that we align on most strongly.
Yeah.
From the beginning. And so,
That's true.
So I just think that we took it to another level because we just did not want that to be the reason that our marriage had challenges.
And I think we're like-minded. Like if this was a relationship where we were at odds in how we viewed things, I don't think it would function as smoothly.
Sure.
And that's where if you're someone who's watching this and your spouse is not on board, I mean, you have to have some conversations to talk it through.
Yes.
And it might be where you employ some of the other tactics, which I'm gonna start talking about right now, and how you can get there. Because one way to get there is just instead of making a full payment to your mortgage every month, make it every 2 weeks. Like it's that bi-weekly, payment because they recalculate the interest, twice a month versus once a month. But you do have to specify that. Well, no, you don't even have to specify without one.
Yeah, you do. Sometimes you can actually get on a bi-weekly payment schedule.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can actually do that. They have programs that actually allow you to do that, but your mortgage servicer might also have a program where you can do
So
that.
instead of making 12 payments, you're making basically 26 payments a year because 52 weeks,
Yeah.
you make 26 payments. And that turns out to be an extra payment a year.
Yeah.
And so that extra payment is what can chop those numbers down. And that's not hard to do. Like you paying the same amount, you're just paying it every 2 weeks
Right.
versus once a month.
And it will chop down the interest.
Yep.
So you on that kind of a schedule, you are doing two things. You are paying down the interest more rapidly, or I should say avoiding interest in that scenario, avoiding some interest in that scenario. And then the other piece of it is paying an extra payment per year. And so that's two benefits right there. I would also say that, you can do like us and just use a bonus or,
Right.
pay one significant amount extra per year, or whenever you have extra funds that come in, you can put it on there. So that could be random.
Yeah.
But it also means that it's going to take less time. It'll save you interest, right? And so I think that we can make all kinds of excuses as to why we can't do it. But let me just tell you, most Americans got a tax refund this year. I think it was like 60% of Americans got a refund.
And it's not like fiesta. It's not party time because people get refunds and first thing they want to do is go shop or reward or do something.
Vacation.
Oh, I got this money back. I'm about to go and do X, Y, Z. Because it seems like windfall, but it's not windfall. It's actually your money. You paid the government more than you were supposed to.
Exactly.
And they're giving it back.
Exactly.
It's not a windfall. They're returning to you what was yours. That's so funny to me when people be like, oh, I got my tax return. It's like, oh, they finally gave you your money back that they owed you? That's why I'd rather owe or get nothing back. Because then I'm like, oh, I owe you now. Okay, well, let me see if I can get an extension and hold on to this money a little longer. No, I don't do that. I try. April 15th, I won't be done.
Yes, done.
Yeah.
Done. Okay.
But isn't it funny how like people are like, yeah, I'm about to go and eat, about to go out and get some lobster.
Do people actually do that? See, I don't know.
I don't know, but I just think like people, you always hear like tax returns, like you hear like on the TV like car advertisements, bring your tax return in or do this with your tax return. It's like, no, that's your money you just got back. The government been making interest on your money.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So I just think that, we can't discount what you can do.
Yeah.
And being intentional with your dollars is really, really important.
I don't know. I just think you gotta just decide what is most important. Because people spend money on what's important to them.
Yeah.
And for me, I like freedom. I just like being able to do what I want to do and not having like obligations.
Yeah. Yeah.
And as I go back and I think about the different phases that we've been in, when we paid all of our credit card debt off, I was like, man, this feels like a burden removed. Then when we paid our first car loan off, I was like, oh man, this car ride a whole lot differently. And then when we started paying cash for cars, I was like, boy, I feel like I had so much negotiating power when I went in because I was gonna buy a car from somebody and I was like, it could be you or it could be somebody else. Because it removed the stress and the strain of the immediacy or the need. A lot of people go buy cars like when they're in need. And that's not a position of power because you feel like you have to make a deal. When you don't have to make a deal, the car dealers are more inclined to want to make a deal. And it's just like, I think about all those different phases of life. And now the house is paid for. I was like, okay, well, I got to do this thing over here. I got to fix this or do that. But I don't have the stress of it because I'm like, okay, I don't have a mortgage. Okay, I just put it in the budget, little maintenance.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the other thing that people can really do easily is round up their mortgage payment. Round up to the next $100.
Yes.
So
you're paying a little extra.
Right. So if your mortgage is $14.98, that's only $2. Okay. but maybe you add another
$1,500.
Right.
Make it to $1,600.
Right. So you can round up, and it might not seem like a lot.
Yeah, or even $15.50. Do what you can do.
Do what you can do, like a little extra. Here's the other thing that I think, I'm just such a numbers girly that I want people to calculate. So I think you could potentially do two things. If you're rounding up, you can actually use a calculator to say, what if I put $50 extra on my mortgage for the next 10 years? How much sooner would it be paid off or what have you, right? Based on your current balance, all of that. Or you can calculate from now until when you actually want it to be paid off. Like, how much time is that? Maybe that's 15 years instead of 30 years. If you don't want to change your mortgage, if you don't want to refinance, if you don't want to do any of that, then see how much extra you need to put on it in order to reach that goal. How much extra per month do you need to put on it? And these financial calculators will help you do that. And so I'm a person who likes to know for certain. Like, if I do this every month, what is that going to save me in interest and time? And so I just think that if we can be intentional, then we'll get to the goal.
You know, I would love to see people put a goal or something at the end that they are striving towards. You know, like, not having a mortgage or having debt, what does that mean to you?
Yes.
And like, put that somewhere where you'll see it, you know? And I think about like when I first got into sales and I was always in the car and I'm going to see customers, I would put something on my visor. So whenever I pulled my visor down, I had an image of what, you know, winning looked like or what it meant to me. You know, we used to get like annual reward trips and stuff, and I would put a picture of what the trip that year was. So I pulled my visor down, and I'd be like, yeah, that was my motivation.
Right.
And so I love people to say, you know, no mortgage, what it means to me is I can do A, B, or C, X, Y, or Z, and keep it in front of you. Because you remember at our old house how I had in my closet,
yes,
I had created like a little PowerPoint of all the things I wanted to see manifest or realized in my life, and I just put it at a point where it was just a PowerPoint of just pictures and images. And every time I walked in my closet, it was at eye level, and I was like, oh, okay. And it was a reminder, you know. And so I think I had paid for a house on there, and so I always had that as a reminder for me because it's not accidental.
Yes. Oh my God.
It was very intentional.
Yes.
And we're telling you ways to be intentional.
Exactly.
Like, someone asked for the blueprint, it starts with intention.
Yeah.
Take the blueprint
Yes.
and say, okay, which of these can I commit to? Is it making bi-weekly payments? Is it paying an extra payment a year in some other way? By, like, you get a bonus, you get your tax return, you make one extra payment. Is it rounding your mortgage up a little bit, you know, every month so you can make an extra payment? Is it taking that 30-year mortgage and refinancing to a 15-year mortgage? Is it you have a 30-year mortgage and you're 10 years into it and you take that 20-year and make it a 10-year?
Yes.
There are options. And might there be a little pain in there because the payment will go up if you go from a 30 to a 15-year, or you go to a 10-year, the payment's gonna go up. So you have to figure out how you manage that pain. Do you get an extra hustle or something to help close that gap? But having that image at the end of it, that was always a motivator for me. So
you were admittedly always the one who was so much more focused on wanting the house paid off. I would kick that can down, I would kick the conversation down. I'd be like, okay, that's nice, honey.
Yeah.
I knew that was more your goal than my goal. And it's interesting that you said refinance is an option, because that is definitely an option. And I will say, if you are 45, 50, 55, we need to start strategizing differently, right? So you might be a real good candidate for refinancing, so that if you know you're going to be there for longer than 3 to 5 years, then that might be an option. But another option to consider is to downsize. So if you have a lot of house,
always an option.
It is always an option. And there was one point where I thought we might downsize. We remember we actually went and looked at a couple of houses that were a little bit smaller than ours with a different configuration.
It felt a lot a bit smaller. We were like, nope, not doing this.
But it's an option depending on what kind of lifestyle you want. If
Yes.
the kids are out of the house, it might be an option to say, do we need this size house? Do you want to live in a condo? Because there was one moment where you were like, I kind of want to be, maybe, what if we live downtown in a little high rise and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I don't really want that lifestyle, but that's an option. It's an option.
Like that option.
Because here's the thing. I
Give
think,
me a 2,000 square foot high rise with a city view.
and you know that's going to cost more than what our house is.
Hey, you know what? Look, we already talked about this might not be our last house,
Right.
but
I don't want to get in the elevator to get to my residence.
I know.
I don't want to do that. That's the difference. And I like a
Yes.
yard. I like to have a pet. I don't want to have to deal
Right.
with. That's not something I could think about right now.
I know. That's a whole nother conversation,
But the average American pays off their mortgage at 62. Or around that age. And the reason is because they see themselves getting closer to retirement or making retirement decisions and they don't want that payment. I'm going to say, I don't want to be average. Like, think about over the next 10, 12 years, what you can do with the amount of money that the mortgage was. Like, I have more options.
Yes.
We can think outside the box. I have friends who have, when they have paid their house off, they chose a different way of living and earning money. They don't work 40 hours anymore. And so you have options when you have less outgo. And so that part is what's exciting to me.
It's interesting because I was off a day of work and I didn't have anything to do that day. And so I woke up and I was like, I'm going to the gym. And when I'm coming from the gym every morning, I'm typically feeling like, man, I got to get home. I got to get showered. I got boom, 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 boom. I got all these things to do. This day I was like, you know what? I'm just kind of slow rolling, because I didn't have to be anywhere. Mm-hmm. I didn't have to do anything. And I like that feeling where I can set my schedule and I can take my time and recapture time, because that removes stress from your life and all those things. And, not having a mortgage, there's some charitable things I want to do, some scholarships I want to contribute to because I believe in the value of education. And I was like, this actually gives me that option and opportunity to be more charitable in ways that, I may not have been able to before. Mm-hmm. And so it's just thinking about all those different things. That's why those were all motivators for me. So
Yeah. So there's one other option for folks to consider. I don't know that it is exactly awesome. I don't feel like it's the best one, which is probably why we have it last. But it's called recasting your mortgage. So if you put like a lump sum on it, let's just, for instance, say you have a $300,000 mortgage, and at some point along the line, you get a bonus and you put $50,000 on it. And then you're like, well, hold on, I put $50,000 on it, but I still got to make this regular payment. Recasting means that they recalculate what your payment is now that you have less of the principal left to pay. And so that just means that your payment goes down. And this could be helpful for people who are, more of their income is commission-based, for instance. That could be helpful. Or if you have a business on the side and you want to utilize those funds to put onto the mortgage and you want to see it go down, who knows? Or somebody lost their job and you're like, you know what, at this point, I think it might be important.
Reduce our outgo.
Yeah. So the other thing is, talk to your mortgage lender and see what options there are.
Right. Sometimes
you can do a refinance without any, and maybe that's what what some people call recasting, but do a refinance without having to pay all the fees. You know what I mean?
That's why you said if you're refinancing and you're going to be there for the next 2 to 3 years, ensure that, because when you refinance, there are fees, and your recapture rate to get those fees back,
gonna take a while.
It's going to take like a couple of years.
Right.
So you have to be intentional about making sure you stay in there, because if you move within those couple of years and you haven't, recaptured your costs, it might not have made the most sense to refinance because you'd be losing money.
The other thing to think about that just occurred to me, because I'm almost certain that we did this with one of our houses, is we didn't put the 20% down on our first 2 houses, I think. And so what happened is we had to pay the PMI, private mortgage
the
insurance.
Second one we did.
Okay.
Because we took value
Yes.
out of the first one.
So, but if you're paying PMI, you might see if you're getting close with your value
Yeah,
so
your loan
that
value.
you don't have to pay it anymore. And that could either reduce your payment or put more towards principal, whatever the case. That could be
That's mortgage insurance
Yeah.
for people who don't know.
Yeah.
Because when you have less than
20% equity.
equity in a home, you have to pay mortgage insurance so you don't default on the loan.
Yeah. So that could be another option. So, there's a lot of ways to get it done, but I'm just going to, I guess, reiterate what you said, which is be intentional and figure out what's going to work for you,
Well, I think we should talk about the make it worth it then.
Sure.
Because, I don't know, for me, I had the end in mind at the beginning. And I know everybody can't be at that point and have the end goal in mind as soon as you start. But if you're looking for a house, first of all, I say think about like the end game, like when you want to see that mortgage gone, because that might affect your decision-making process. How much house you buy, what type of mortgage you get, and so on and so forth. So if you're in a position to do that, definitely think about the end at the beginning. And if you're not, I'd say just explore the options that we've talked about, or even other options that you may uncover or find, and then commit to one of them, because you can still get there. And you can get there if it's a year, 2, 10 years early, it doesn't matter, because the point is that you pay it off.
Right.
And just by going from a 30 to a 15 year, you've already committed yourself to doing it sooner. And then if you start adding some of those other concepts or principles, you're going to cut that 15 year down even more. So I'd say just consider the options and then commit to one of them. So what about you?
I'm going to say something that we actually haven't really discussed is this is part of our legacy now. Like, we're getting a chance to show our daughters that this is possible.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's exciting. Like, one of my reasons for making this a priority this year was to show our girls that they can do it too. That you don't have to always live a life where payments are choking you, and hopefully we can help them
and still live life
Right.
along the way.
And so hopefully we can help them make some good decisions when they choose to become homeowners, and let them know that this is possible. And so that is fun to me. That is exciting, and an important takeaway, because I was a slow adopter to paying off the mortgage because I didn't see it as important. But now I see it as important for a lot of other reasons.
Look,
Yeah.
what they say, one band, one sound.
That's right. We got on the same page.
On the
and
same page.
We made it happen.
We made music together.
Yes,
So,
we did. Come on, drum line. Come on, drum line.
That was the old Nick Cannon when he was normal.
Yeah, that
I don't know
was.
what's up with him now.
That was the
That was the early Nick Cannon.
early. That's
Yeah,
it.
this-
Early.
This Nick Cannon now, I'm like, bruh.
It feels like it's not even the same person.
No.
Who was that guy?
Right. And I love that line in that movie. So I don't know. So,
Well, this was good, and hopefully that helped give you a bit of a blueprint for how you can pay your mortgage off. And we would love to hear if you are making some of these choices and changing some
we want
things.
to celebrate with you.
Yes, let's go. So anyway, this was awesome. And until next time.
We're out.
Thank you for spending some of your time with us today.
We appreciate all of your support, so be sure to subscribe, rate, and review us wherever you listen to this podcast.
You can find us on Instagram at For Better and Worth.
And sign up to receive our free guide, The 7 Reasons Your Money Relationship Isn't Working with Your Partner, on forbetterandworth.com.
Until next time, we're out of here.